Hey guys, this is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. This show is created to discuss life topics and hopefully challenge and transform your thinking.
Hello, this is Neena Perez at Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. This show is created to give you resources, tools, and tips. I like to discuss life topics to challenge and transform your thinking. And today I thought I would spend some time with you myself, being that I created this platform in order to bring you people that are doing really great and extraordinary things. So the point of this was because I challenge myself every year to try to do something that I haven't done before. So last year I came out with my first book, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, How I Overcame a Hard-Hitting Life. It's right here, and it's literally my autobiography. And so that was a big challenge, and that was something that I worked really hard on for 10 months, nose to the grind, at least 3 to 4 hours a day, every day after working full time. It was something that I just felt like it needed to be done. I am in my 40s. I've had a lot of things go on in my life that have been very hard and have brought me to different places of my life. And so writing about it was very important to me. It wasn't received all that well from some people, but received amazingly by people I didn't even know it would affect. So while I was thinking about writing this book, I learned 5 very important things that helped transform my thinking and transform my life. And so the 5 things that I learned while writing this book is how to fight back life, how to fight back the enemy, and just really learn how to use resources and tools to get through this. The 5 things that I want to discuss are overcoming shame, the power of forgiveness, standing in your truth, letting go so you can receive more, and dreaming big. Those are the 5 topics that I really wanted to touch on because those are the things that have me sitting here with you today and the reason why this show was created. This show was created because I know that there are people out there going through a lot of struggle. There's people out there that are struggling with different things in life, whether it's unforgiveness or shame, or people that have really hit hard times in their life. That's why we've done a financial segment. We have done faith segments here. We have discussed topics with people about reforming prison. I mean, just so many different topics because there's so many different things happening in so many different lives. So the first thing I had to overcome in my life in order to step forward is to overcome shame. And so I had to face a lot of that shame. You know, I have lived a really long time in shame. My shame started when I was a child. My stepfather started molesting me at about the age of 5, and that lasted for a couple of years. But I just remember the shame that came with that. I remember the shame of not being believed when I told my mom, not being valued in that moment. And I remember that I thought it was my fault and something that I had to contend with by myself. So that brought on a lot of shame in my life that I didn't realize also helped me to make very poor decisions. Shame is something that will just cover you with a dark cloud. It's something that will overwhelm you and take you down, and you don't even know why you're ashamed. I really do believe there are 2 types of shame. One shame is a shame that someone puts on you, kind of what happened with me and my stepfather. Him doing what he did to me caused me to feel ashamed of what was happening to me. But I realize now as an adult that that shame was not mine to bear. If anybody should be ashamed, he should be ashamed, not me. But that took a very long time for me to get to that point. To get to a point where you say to yourself, wow, that's not mine. and I don't have to keep carrying that with me. Then there's that other kind of shame, right? I mean, there's healthy shame. If I was to go and maybe steal something out of someone's purse, I should feel ashamed of that. I should feel guilty of that and ashamed of that. And that's healthy, because that means I have a conscience, and that means that I will change the behavior. But you can't change the behavior of someone who has put shame on you, but you can now change how you accept that shame. That shame is not yours to bear. There is no reason why you should have one more day of carrying a shame that does not belong to you. And that's the place where I had to get to. And it wasn't until I started releasing all of that, writing my book, exposing these truths, that's what's got me here today at Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. That's what has me here having dialogues with people that I would have never met before had it not been for this amazing platform. I have a lot of amazing support here at Straight Talk. I have my amazing husband who is back there. He's like my director, producer, slash husband, slash complainer. He does everything. But he's back there and he's helping me out. I wouldn't have met all these people, and I wouldn't have stepped out into what I want to do in my life had I still been sitting here in shame, always feeling unworthy because of it. Shame is something that the enemy will use to drag you down. And at some point, you have to face that monster and say, wait a minute. Why am I ashamed? Is this even my shame? And even if it is, say that it is your shame. Say that you did go steal something out of someone's bag. At some point, you have to get to the point where you're facing it and saying, I'm not that person. I don't need to keep carrying my mistakes. I don't need to keep carrying what I've done in the past. That is not mine anymore. Okay, reconcile with it. Ask God for forgiveness, or the person if you'd like, and keep it moving. Because the more that you stay sitting in that shame, the more that you will lose so many amazing opportunities that life has to offer. I believe that really conquering things, going head on, taking the bulls by the horn is the way to get through life. Life is hard, and it does a lot of unfair things. Some things that you have done that have brought those things to be unfair in your life, and sometimes it's just that people come against you, and those things that are unfair come against you in your life. Either way, tomorrow is coming. You might not be promised tomorrow, but you may. So if you are promised tomorrow and you are here tomorrow, how is that going to be different than your today? Because if tomorrow is the same weight carried as today, then you're stuck and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in life. I don't know if Straight Talk, No Sugar Added will go global. I have no idea. And I don't care. What I care about is that I am doing something different than I ever thought I would, because I decided that I am not going to be carrying shame, and that I'm going to step out into whatever it is that I should be doing next. Now, my thing and your thing are different things, right? You might not want to be doing a talk show. This is not like something everybody wants to do, but it's definitely something that I thought about for a long time, and something that I had to face, because you know what? Being in front of you right now and exposing my truths and writing my book and doing all of this is not easy. And I know that I'm going to get judged, and I know that people will have something to say. And I know that people always have an opinion, and then you always have trolls that go on there and make stupid comments to try to pull you in to what they're doing so that you can get all confused about what it is you want to do. Now, I would not have been able to do that or sit here and do this today had I still been sitting in shame. Because that means that everything that people say, whether true or not true, I would take on as my truth. The truth is that I'm a child of the Most High God. That's true. And that's not, oh, my truth is your truth and your truth is their truth. It's the truth. And I think that that's where we have to get to at some point in our lives, where we just stop playing games about what we try to mold into our lives and actually find out what the truth really is. And I'm still seeking and pursuing more of it. Yes, I have faith. Yes, I believe in God. haven't always, but I do now. And it's just growing stronger the more I'm learning to stand on solid ground. So do yourself a favor. Even if you have shame or somebody has put shame on you, it is time to reconcile with that. Look at it in its face, call it out on the carpet, deal with it, and then move on. Because you know what? The one thing I learned about overcoming the shame was forgiveness. I had to go to my stepfather, who for a long time was my monster. And I had to go just a few years ago, eye to eye, nose to nose, and say to him, I choose to forgive you. The hardest choice I've ever had to make. Because I wanted him out of my life forever and to just drop dead somewhere. That's just the truth. But the reality is that God is so gracious that he put it on my heart to go and forgive this man, even though I refused to do so. But I stepped out and I said, okay, I will do it. So I did. I haven't seen the man in about close to 20 years. So I had to go to his place in the city and I had to go and confront him. And all I can remember is my heart pounding, my hands were sweaty. I didn't know if I could do this, but I know that I had to. In order to move forward, I knew that I had to. The power of forgiveness is unbelievable. It takes the power that somebody had over you and completely annihilates it. Because when you can forgive someone, they no longer have power. They cannot come at you anymore. It just doesn't work. It's not effective because you have let them go. See, unforgiveness will keep you in a prison. Now, you think that maybe you're blocking people out, but at the same time, you are caging yourself in. That is just not a healthy place to be. I've learned that through very, very toxic relationships. I've learned that by separating myself from situations as quickly as possible and not deal with them, all because I have started with a root of shame, then a root of unforgiveness, anger, frustration. I had hatred in my heart. I was like the type of person I really was, which I'm kind of ashamed to say, but a healthy shame. Like if you were someone who hurt me, you were cut off. And if you were like choking and dying in front of me, I would walk over you and keep it moving. That's how bad that was, because I was so overwhelmed with unforgiveness, and the darkness that holds on you is so big. So I encourage you, the first thing to do is to look at whatever, if there is anything that caused you any kind of shame. Confront that bad boy. If there's something that someone has done to you, forgive them. If there's something that you have done, forgive yourself. You know, one of the hardest things that I wrote about in this book that took me a while to get over was the fact that I had abortions. Even now, it leaves a little bit of a lump in my throat. I did not forgive myself for that for a very long time. In fact, while I was writing this book and I had gotten to that chapter, I was sitting across the table having dinner with my husband and just busted out crying and couldn't breathe. I realized that even though I had come to terms with my decisions to have these abortions, that I never forgave myself. And so I realized I was ashamed. Even though my husband knows my story, just saying it aloud again, just saying it aloud, brought on shame. And I had to realize at that moment, oh my gosh, I'm still carrying a lot of weight. I was through prayer that I was able to get through that shame. And it was through God's mercy and grace that I was able to get to the point of forgiveness. Not just forgiveness over my stepfather, what he did, over my mom, what she did, but over what I did. Because a lot of times we don't realize that, you know, we do things too, right? It's so easy for me to sit here and be self-righteous and to say to you that, you know, it's because of, It's because of my stepfather molesting me that I made the bad decisions that I've made. It's because my mother didn't love me enough. It's because my grandparents weren't really there for me. It's because, my aunts were mean to me. It's because my cousins didn't play with me enough. I can make up so many scenarios as to why and think that I have the right to sit in those excuses. But the truth of the matter is you don't. Can you? Yes. But you're just cutting yourself short. And all you're doing is cheating yourself out of something amazing. If I didn't sit down and write my book, if I didn't sit down and cry a lot, if I didn't sit down and pray to get through, hit me with your best shot, I would never have overcome that hard-hitting life. It takes a lot for me to sit here and just expose myself to you and just completely be honest and vulnerable. But this is what this show is about. Yeah, I have fun topics here and I have fun people come on, and it is such a joy to do. And it's something that I hope I do for many years to come. So we will see. But straight talk is just about that. Straight talk. I don't hold any bars. I don't BS. I kind of just say it how it is. It comes and rolls right out of my mouth. Sometimes maybe it shouldn't, but it does. And it's because I have lived such a long, hard life, beating myself up, holding things in, being frustrated, being in shame, living in unforgiveness, that when I became free, I became free. The Bible says that, the truth will set you free, right? And I realize that it's not just truth in your words, but it's also the truth. And to me, the Word of God is the truth. And because of that, because of the truth of His Word, I realize that He is merciful, that He is forgiving, that He is loving, that He is patient, that He is kind, and He is fair. God is so fair. Gives us so many chances and so many opportunities to just get it right. It doesn't mean that we will always be right. It doesn't mean that we will always, be right standing, because a lot of times we won't. But He is fair, and He gives you so many opportunities to make sure that you are going to stand in the truth. So to me, the next lesson is standing in your truth. And here's the reality. Since I came out with this book, I had to stand in my truth. And I had to stand in my truth by exposing truths. Whew, that was hard. Not easy. And still a topic that some people in my family still don't really want to touch on. And that's okay. Their journey is different than mine. But what I know is that I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie about my life. I am not going to lie about what I've gone through. I am not going to lie about how I feel or the experiences I've had. I'm not going to lie. Because when you lie, you have to tell another lie to cover the first lie, and then another lie to cover the second one to cover the first lie. You see the pattern? It's just so unhealthy. And I just remember when I exposed that my stepfather was touching me, and I told my mom, and my mom said, shut up and stop lying. I know now that Mom was really, really scared. He was an abuser, and he abused her too. And I could understand that as a mom, she was just like, oh my gosh, please don't say these things. This is going to make my life worse. I so get that now as an adult. So I've forgiven her a long time ago. So standing in your truth is just being truthful to yourself so that you can continue your healing journey. There is a journey. You have to heal, and the only way to heal is to be truthful. First step, shame, right? We're going to overcome our shame. The second step is forgiveness. Make sure that anybody who you have fought against or you think owes you something, that you release them of that debt so that you can be released as the debtor, holder, right? As the person who is holding the debt. Just release it and let it go. It is so much better and more freeing than you'll ever imagine. So the third one is standing in your truth. And I'm telling you, you are going to be so free, and it's going to feel so rewarding to stand in a truth where you have no shame and no unforgiveness, because now you're standing in that truth. You're standing in the reality of what it is, and you don't have to hide it, and you don't have to try to put it under a rug, and you don't have to do any of that. It is who you are. And when you are not ashamed, you're not ashamed of what you've done, because you've said, you know what, I made some really seriously awful mistakes in my life, really awful mistakes in my life, and here they are. So how can I help you through that? And that's what you do, to take something that is supposed to destroy you, to destroy it. Don't let things boggle you down, press you down, and put you in a place where you have to either lie your way out of it or cover it up or make sure that nobody sees you. Don't live like that. Stand in the truth. Stand in your truth and in the truth. I encourage you that if you are not a person who has a belief system or a faith system, you need to read the Bible. You need to read the Word of God and let it speak to you as a child. Don't even look at it with any preconceived notions. Don't look at it with any thoughts of what anybody has ever done to you or said to you. Look at it as a child. Look at it as a child. That's what I had to do. And when I did that, I realized that the Word is powerful and true and strong and loving, and it just encourages you to live in your truth and live free. You have to let go of all of that so that you can receive more. Right now, this is my more. My relationship with my husband is amazing. My relationship with my children is at its all-time high. My work life is beautiful. My book is out. I've said I was going to write this years ago, and here I am. I am sitting in a studio doing my own talk show. I am letting all of that stuff go, and I am receiving more. Why? Because God is a magic, magic word, and I said, oh God, this is what I want. Give me. No. But because He gives me grace and love and patience and kindness and self-control, and because He gives me a mind of intelligence and wisdom, and because He has died for me to live, I am going to do what I can to do the best I can do to receive more and to give more. So dream big. That's my last one for you. Dream big. You're the only one that can really limit how you dream. You're the only one that can say, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not articulate enough. I can't speak like that. I'm afraid of talking in public. I'm afraid of writing. I'm afraid of exposing anything. I'm afraid. That's all you. That is all you. Because the truth of the matter is once you do it, so what? You just keep on doing it. Once it's done, it is done. So just do it. I always tell my kids, do it afraid. That's how I live my life. Do it afraid. I pray and then I do it afraid. I don't expect God to come down here and do it for me. I don't expect Him to, for me to rub the Bible and a magic genie comes out of it. I expect that I get up in the morning, grateful that I'm given another day, grateful that I have children and a husband and a home and a bed that I can lie on and a pillow that holds my head at night. I am super grateful. So I will tell you that you should always, and this is how my journey began, just to go all the way back to the beginning, is live a life and have an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Write a list of everything you are grateful for, and I mean everything. The fact that your lungs are breathing, that your eyes can see, that you can hear my voice, the fact that you got up this morning, that you're watching TV, that means you have electricity, or you have a TV, that you have a home. I just got back from Haiti. They had no electricity and no running water. It makes you super grateful for what you have. And once you start living in a place of gratitude and in a place where you feel grateful for what you have, then there's nothing that can come against you because you are not even looking at anything negative. It is all grateful, right? Does negative thing happen? Yes, of course. It would be even silly of me to sit here and say that nothing negative will happen to you because you're thinking with grateful thoughts. That is BS. And a lot of that has been fed to you and to me, that you're supposed to think your way positive and think your way this and think your way that. But that is not the truth. But having an attitude of gratitude, getting up and being grateful even for the challenges. When you look at the challenges, you say, I got this. That's how you want to live your life. And that is why we're here today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope this has helped you even in a little way. This is Neena Perez at Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Until next time. And she is an author, director, and an editor. So Naz is an African-American Bronx native screenwriter, and she focuses on telling impactful stories that make a difference. That's beautiful.
So I do art retreats, and this is called Rooted.
A very special guest with me. Her name is Julie Galemi, and she is the founder of Julie Galemi Mind, Body, and Surrounding. So Julie brings a dynamic presentation and incorporates her story growing up in the modeling industry to share the power of self-acceptance and body image healing. So we are really happy that you're here with us, Julie. Thank you so much for being on my show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so today I have a special guest, and her name is Reverend Jessica N. Bass, and she is the founder of Day of Birth. It is a faith-based pastoral care and counseling practice with a multifaceted mission to midwife the seed of purpose within others. So Jessica, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have invited this amazing woman who I adore. Her name is Ginger Wilk, and she will be here today discussing relationship topics. So thank you for coming, Ginger. I appreciate you being here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. It's Miosoti Santiago, and she is the CEO of Exemplify to Edify LLC. And it's a women's organization that and I wanted to welcome Miosotis here with me today. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
For
How are
inviting
you?
Me. I'm good.
Good. So
Hi, my name is Neena Perez, and I am excited about my new television show on Preach the Word Network. Be sure to tune in and watch the television show and continue to support this wonderful television network. For TV distribution, please visit us at www.ptwwntv.com. Straight Talk, No Sugar Added is here to discuss real life topics, hopefully to challenge and transform your thinking. We'll see you there.